the support, the encouragement, the knowledge. I mean, it's really a one-stop shop, and anybody, I think that so many people could benefit. Not just, I mean, half of leadership is being able to lead by example, and to be able to say that is, not very many people can. And leadership is not an easy thing. A lot of people want to do it, but very many cannot. So the fact that you not only lead, but you lead by example is a testament to you and your character.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
To be able to, and anybody should want to follow suit to that.
Hey everyone, welcome to another great episode in Women in Real Estate powered by Badass Agents. So, have you guys ever had that moment where like you're kind of like all of a sudden these sudden events in your life like have you just, gasping for air, like I can't breathe, I can't think straight, I'm all over the place, nothing is going right. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And I know many women go through this in business. I think a lot of us have all these emotions piled up, and we go through so many just events and assignments that are given to us in life that we kind of look at them like, why us? Why me? Why now? I have so much going on. And it just kind of leaves you with that anxiety and that like, I can't breathe. What is going on with me? Well, it happens to all of us. And it definitely happens to us in business, especially us women in business. It's difficult. We have where some of us are moms, we're wives, we're sisters, we're aunts, we're daughters. It's just so much going on in our lives, and we always want to be connected with our family, our kids. We want to be in tune with our husbands in the conversation. We want to be present, but sometimes life comes at us, and it comes at us hard. And for me, a couple of years back, my father had passed away. And that same exact month, one of my aunts it was a hit and run, so she passed away. And the only thing that was going in my mind was just like, I have so much going on right now, so many projects I have to continue on in business. The brokerage has to run, my podcasts have to continue going, my coaching and consulting has to continue going, my staff needs to see me present. The agents that are surrounded by us they need to see me going. I never had that moment of where I just wanted to break down, run to the top of the mountain and just scream. I never had that moment. So no one knew the death of my father immediately. Everyone probably found out 4 to 5 weeks after. And no one even knew the death of my aunt until like 30 days after. The reason for that being was because I didn't want to hear the I'm sorries for your loss. Let me know if I can do anything. I didn't want anyone to know that things might fall apart because all this is happening to Carla. I just had to understand that life must go on after the death. To get hit by 2 family tragics in 1 month is hard. And then to only see my mom break down, and her herself is running a business. She's an entrepreneur. She's been in business for 15 plus years. So I had to watch her to know that she was going through her depression and anxiety through all this. Her husband passed away. She still had to show up to her employees, her staff. She runs a daycare. She had to show up to all her kids. She had to be present. But when we were sitting there together in the dark, we would break down, we would hold each other, we'd cry, and it was just such an emotion behind it that no one ever saw. But as women, as entrepreneurs and business owners, we have to continue showing up. Today, our subject is the X Factor. So that goes to, next, I'm going to introduce my guest today. So excited because her and I can relate on so many subjects in this area. Brianna Young, welcome. So, Brianna, before we get started in asking you your X Factor as to, that moment in your life where it kind of put a little pause in business, or it may not. I want to hear your side of the story, and I think that's the great thing about this podcast is we have so many different emotions and feelings and thoughts and what people actually go through, women and in real estate and just business owners in general. But going with that, Brianna, what made you want to become an agent? That's my first question, first and foremost.
I wanted to put all my good skills to use. I wanted to help people. I wanted to be impactful. I wanted to leave a legacy for my kids.
So what did you do before real estate?
I was a mom.
You were a mom. Oh, man, I love that. This whole week, it was always, I was talking to several ladies. Like, I went from staying at home mom to a real estate agent. And I'm just like, wow, we just went like bam to bam. And your business is actually booming. It's doing great. So going back to real estate, what made you go from like, were you in sales before?
Nope.
So how did that transition to be like, okay, I'm going to go in sales? Or did you think that it wasn't going to be, did you think it was going to be easy, family and friends real estate? Or did you want to go all out hardcore marketing, being the marketer? You know, so if you weren't in sales, how did that go for you?
My intent was never to dominate or kill it. That's just what evolved out of it. I think it's easy when you love what you do, and you do it with a good heart, and you do it honest.
It just comes easy.
It just happens.
Yeah.
I've been able to form some incredible relationships from it.
And I see that you have a really tight bond with your husband and everyone around you, actually. So, but how long have you and your husband been married?
We've been together since I was 17.
17. I just met with Carla Young yesterday, too, and she said she was a high school sweetheart. So you have a high school sweetheart then?
Yes.
How many kids do you have?
3.
They're teenagers now?
From 17 to 12.
Wow. So you're ready just to go on your own and be like this.
Boot them out, girl.
That's right. Just career is going to take off from this point. So speaking of that, is there any time in your life, how long have you been an agent?
5 years.
5 years. And in the 5 years that you ever think that this just wasn't for you?
Tons of times. And,
I know the story that I just told regarding my dad and my aunt and my mom. I know you can relate to that because a couple of weeks ago your father passed away. How did you feel about that?
It's a unique set of circumstances. I am one not to be too emotional, and you just got to show up. You got to show up, and there's no time. There's no time for pity. There's no time. Everybody has a story. And my story wasn't one that I wanted to share because it involves so many layers. And I'm typically a super private person. So to put myself out there and explain
the situation
exactly was something I wasn't willing to do, something I wasn't comfortable doing.
Right. So how does that hold you back? Or does it even hold you back? Because I know for me, I guess I would say I'm a private person, but to some extent, obviously, there's so much more out there about me. And if you'd like to follow my story, go to dothework.com and you can find me there. There's so much to know about me there.
That great plug.
Great plug, yeah, right. But I know that a lot of women, we hold all these emotions in because we don't want people to see that weakness part of us. Just like me a couple of years back, I didn't want anyone to see that weakness part of me because I didn't want anyone to think that I wasn't going to run the business or things were going to start to fall apart, which became really difficult on my end because it was just like, I don't want to share that part of me, which is a huge part of me. I mean, my father passed away. My aunt was, hit with a car. It was just so much going on. I didn't want people to know because I was also stuck in the mindset of like, okay, if people find out, they're going to be like, okay, everything's going to fall apart. Carla, no one's going to want to ask me questions. They're going to say, oh, poor Carla, let's not ask her now. Let's wait 30 days. Or if people found out right away, and I was literally at work that same day. I never missed a day in the office, as a matter of fact. I continued functioning like a normal person. And I was afraid that people would find out that they were like, wow, she's just hardcore. She doesn't care that her dad passed away or her aunt got ran over. She doesn't care that her mom.
Have a soul?
Yeah, does she even have a soul?
Man.
She has a cold-blooded heart.
Right.
And I've spoken to people that have these sudden deaths, and they're gone from their business 6 to 8 months at a time because they're like, well, so-and-so passed away. I had to take time off. I just wasn't that person, and I was stuck in that emotion of like, should people know? Should I let people know? Now it's gone so long that they're going to ask, wait, we didn't know your dad passed away. Right. Did you feel like that pressure of not wanting anyone to see you break down?
It's just an internal battle, I think, in general, of trying to be very transparent and open and honest and real, and also battle being so guarded. And so it's not that we're heartless. It's not that we don't feel. It's not that we can't sit and cry, because we can. We both can. It's just, for me in particular, who I show that vulnerability to.
Right.
Who I feel comfortable exposing that vulnerability to. And it's something that I don't think hinders or helps my business.
Right,
I just
right.
think it's just kind of there.
Right.
Because it forces me to rise and show up in situations where some people maybe cannot.
Right.
I was calling clients the very next morning, bright and early, and they were
Right.
like, "What? What are you doing? What are you doing
Right.
working?"
Yeah.
And in my mind, what was I supposed to do?
Right.
That's what we do.
And you kind of want to say that. Like, what do you mean what I'm doing working? I need to work. I need to pay the bills.
What was the other option?
Yeah,
I didn't know.
yeah, stay here
Should
and
I?
cry. And I'm so glad. And that's why I can relate to you in that, because it's just not many, or many, I don't know. I shouldn't say I don't know, women out there that, have that moment in their lives that they're like, this tragic event happened. I need to shut the doors. I'm done. I just don't function that way, and I've never have. Even at the moment when I had my retail store, I had to be in training 4 days after I had my child, and I left to California. I didn't see my newborn for a whole week. So I think that my backbone and thick skin started to become powerful even years back. So when this moment happened, I mean, obviously I'm not comparing that, but what I am saying is to understand that there's assignments I think we're given in life.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's like, how are you going to handle this assignment? I'm giving you this one assignment. That's how I feel. Every time something comes in my life, it's like a moment of like, I don't know, a journey that it seems like forever, that it's going to be like, okay, how can I get to my next point or to my next mission? It's kind of an assignment. I either have to pass or I'm going to fail.
Right.
But I'm not going to ignore the assignment. I'm going to continue on. That's kind of the way I feel life has brought me. There are just assignments coming into our
I
lives.
think that society puts an added pressure on us because as women, we should be soft and emotional and don't have any grit and don't have tenacity.
Right.
And don't have the wherewithal to get through bad things.
Right.
And when we kind of rely on ourselves and say, you know what, I am a hell of a lot stronger than I give myself credit for.
Right.
And I can endure, as most people can, endure so much more than their evil even can comprehend.
And I think even, I think you're so right. I think society sees us as we should be a certain way. And I discussed this yesterday, or I think the prior podcast, where it was like society sees us in a way like we should be women who feel like become sad when something happens. We cry, we're emotional, we're like these screaming, overly aggressive and all these things. And it's like, for so many years, I try to watch the tone of my voice, the way I handle myself. I would wear masks depending on who I was talking to, because it was just like, I don't want this person to see me this way and that way. I've heard Carla's aggressive, and it's like, no, I'm just powerful. My words are just, I don't hide.
But how many years did you suppress being powerful?
Years,
right?
And that's why I do what I do, because it's like, I love building that, that thick skin to women, like, get out there and just, And I just remember, and I just said this to you prior to this podcast, my dad, before he passed away, was like, he was bed rested for 2 years, year and a half, somewhat. And he said, don't let life pass you by, because if you die a slow death, you're laying in this bed and going through all these things you should have done, should have said that you didn't. You let people walk all over you. And he was a business owner for 50-something years or someone. I mean, he was always a business owner. So he went through a lot. But so I've learned so much from this great man before he died, in business and in just life. But one thing he did have that moment with me before he passed away was like, do not let life pass you by. Take it, have fun, enjoy it, say what you need to say, do what you need to say without the fear, because there's going to be a point in your life that you're not able to do anything. And you sit here and hopefully you don't die that slow death, because you will sit here and just think about all the things you should have done. And it's just so sad just to think that, and it stuck with me. And I think those were the years that I was like, I'm going hard. And of course I attacked the business so powerfully, because it was just like, I am not holding back. And I took it to a whole new level. And I think that's when Do the Work took off on me, because I was just like, I am taking this. I see myself, I envision myself in this place that I want to be, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. So goes to my next question. I know that you started from being at home to a real estate agent. Where do you want to take your business now? Where are you at now? What can your clients expect from you now? What do you want?
So
and that's a difficult question
right.
sometimes.
No, that's pretty heavy, girl. You put a lot on me.
I know. It could be hard.
I feel like there's parallels in exactly what you said. Mortality forces you to deal with things in a way that, even if you don't want to deal with them, so for me in particular, I don't know how much time I got, but I do know that we have today, and I can make small changes every day. I want my business to be as big as it can be, and I want to help as many people as I can. So my clients can expect from me exactly what they've always gotten from me.
Right.
And I will continue to build phenomenal relationships. I will be able to meet really cool people along the way. And
as you pointed to me.
Yeah.
Where can your clients reach you if they want to talk to you and know a little more about you? I know I see you on Facebook. I'm one of your biggest fans on Facebook. You just have a beautiful family, by the way. And your mom, if you haven't followed her on Facebook, please do so, because Brianna has a phenomenal, funny, beautiful mom
she is phenomenal.
who is just high on life. And
Yes.
she reminds me of my mom. My mom doesn't care,
She
and
is
she's
the
just high on
greatest.
life. Yeah, and I love moms. They're freaking hilarious. We are them. So
Yeah. See what our kids have to look forward to.
right. So where can they find you? What's your Facebook? Do you have an Instagram?
Yes, I have. So my Instagram is Homes for Sale by Bree, and my Facebook is.
I found you under.
Oh man,
I
that
found
was
you
a
under
great
your
one.
last name.
That's a great question. I don't.
No, actually, yes, I found you by your last name. I found you with your last name.
That's a great question, Carla.
Yeah.
That I should have been prepared for.
I get asked that all the time. Like, Carla, where can we find you? And I'm AZ figure or something. Not anything to do with
The
real
age
estate.
of technology. I was gonna give my phone number.
I mean, you can. You can get your phone number out there.
My pager. I don't know. That's awful. I should
First
have
and
been
foremost,
prepared.
you have a pager?
No, I don't.
Let's talk about that pager thing. Because I want one. Those are
That
so
would
cool.
have made
Remember
me
those?
super cool.
I remember I met my husband and he had a pager, and I used to text him.
The 143.
Yes, the 143. All those little number things. I'm like, oh, that's funny. I think obviously they're still popular with doctors, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, I think some of them do. Actually, one of my doctors had a pager. I'm like, what are those things?
So
He's like, well, they're still
is
in.
an option for us.
I'm like, get an iPhone. It was a little odd because I hadn't seen one in years. So anyway, Brian, what are your hobbies?
So, gosh.
What do you do? What do you like?
I love to dance. I love to read. I love to hike. But my real bread and butter, girls, I love to be with my babies.
You do.
I
know you do.
I
I know
do.
you're a big family.
I'm a
I love
family
to
girl.
see. You and your daughter are extremely close.
Oh, yeah.
Which I just absolutely. She's so beautiful. Her dad's a little strict on her though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that moment where she was trying to wear makeup, trying to get away with that makeup moment. Yeah. So talk to me. What do you and your husband do for fun?
Well, we try to at least hit a date night every.
He's a firefighter, right? Michael Young. In case you have known, follow him too. He's a pretty cool guy.
He's all right. I mean, we'll keep him around.
Yeah.
I'm just
You for a
kidding.
couple more years. You hear that, Michael? You're all right. You ain't all that. You're all right.
Oh, I'm just kidding. We try to do a date night every 2 weeks, and we'll try something different, whether it be the symphony, new restaurants. I mean,
I love that.
we're really about. I'm an adventure girl. I'm an experience girl.
Yeah,
I want
you
the
are.
experience.
He's always so sweet. He's always putting so many nice things about you out there. You definitely challenge him, that's for sure. So let me ask you. You definitely challenge him, that's for sure. You can tell by all his write-ups. So my next question to you is, 5 years, you started in the industry 5 years ago. What have you been doing different or plan to do different from the first year to today?
So moving forward, what I plan to do different is really set a solidified foundation for growth, so I can build my team, build my business in a way that I could walk away from in 5 to 7 years and know that it's a well-oiled machine.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to implement now, and I want that foundation to be solid and secure.
Love it, love it. So, what would you tell to any of the agents that are wanting to change? The agents who've been veterans in the industry for quite some time are just wanting to make some changes because they're kind of stuck in the growth and they've kind of hit a plateau. Mm-hmm. What would you tell those agents in regards to that? Wanting to make a change here to AZ & Associates. What value has AZ & Associates brought to you?
Come. The support, the the encouragement, the knowledge. I mean, it's really a one-stop shop, and anybody, I think that so many people could benefit. Not just, I mean, half of leadership is being able to lead by example. And to be able to say that is, not very many people can. And leadership is not an easy thing. A lot of people want to do it, but very many cannot. So the fact that you not only lead, but you lead by example is a testament to you and your character.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
To be able to, and anybody should want to follow suit to that.
Oh, I have many people. I think it's likewise, by the way. Because I love to be surrounded, and I think I said this too, I love to be surrounded by just amazing women. They're constantly challenging even me. It's always like, what's next, what's next, what's next? I'm never sitting comfortable. So, and I love to hear that, and I don't take that for granted. And any of these words that I've heard this week, I definitely love that because I'm continuing challenging myself and what more I can bring to all of us as women in business. So I love to share all of me. There is a purpose and a reason why I do what I do. Mm-hmm. It's because it's like you're not the only ones out there. There's so many of us that just need to speak up. And if it's not speak up for yourself, but for the next generation, especially some of us
Carla,
that have daughters.
To people. You're giving a voice to women in a generation that was told, you just have to look pretty and don't say too much. You cannot be too smart.
Oh, I love you.
You cannot be too aggressive, and you can't be too independent.
I posted that. They try to take the powerful tool from me, my voice.
Yeah, and you said, like,
what now? What now?
Bring it.
Bring it on. I remember as a kid, even growing up, I've had teachers and just people in general that would just come up to me like, you're so loud. I've had friends that told me, you're so loud. Well, I'm not friends with them today, but what now? Am I loud now?
Perfect.
So I love it. So what was the one thing when you walked into these doors, Brianna, that you're like, whoa, this is just not what I thought. Just kind of being another agent. Was it like, this is completely different? And that's what's going to separate you from those other agents out there.
Right.
But what did you think that was like, wow?
Well, I don't think you even know this. It took me about 2 years that AZ and I were in communication about meeting. And I was like, no, I'm just not ready to do it. No, I'm just not ready to do it. And then I said, you know what? The hell with it.
Why,
I'm going to go check it out.
Why was that in your mind? Like, I'm not ready to do it.
To be honest, because I'm like, look, I can't. I've given him every excuse in the book of why I can't be with him. So I got to put my money where my mouth is and check it out. And the level of true care that they had in my business, where my business was, where I wanted it to go, and what that looked like in getting it there was unmatched. And I had been to multiple places. And nobody ever sat down with me and said, okay, Brianna, what's your plan? What do you want to do? Because success looks so different to all of us. And
Right.
it's defined so differently.
Right.
So to put everybody under an umbrella of what the standard of success is may not work for, that mold may not work for everybody.
I love it. And that's, I love it. I've heard that too. The pressure is on. It's like, no, it's just like, how far do you want to go?
Right.
You know, the level of success, it's completely up to you. Right. I love that. I've heard that so many times, though, in such a negative way. Like, it's just so much pressure on me. It's like, well, it's not supposed to be easy.
Right.
But if you feel that pressure, it's because you know there's more
There's
to
more to
you.
give.
Yeah,
right.
there's more to
You
give.
got more in the tank.
But if you're just kind of walking through life like, then you're okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're definitely coming into this these doors, and at AZ & Associates, we're going to. I don't think we're going to put the pressure on you.
It's not
but
pressure.
We continue doing the things that we say we're going to do. Mm-hmm. We continue just putting the pressure on ourselves. Just kind of, we love it. We love that. So
that
we lead by
forces you to
example.
elevate
Right.
your game.
Right.
Unintentionally. When you're surrounded by greatness, you want to be great.
Right.
And you want to play with the cool kids.
And just the whole, things with women in real estate. I literally just woke up one day and I said, you know what? I need to create a badass women in real estate podcast powered by badass agents, because I see so many women going through the exact same things that we go through. And this is what I love about AZ & Associates here. All the women are willing to share. My schedule is booked for the month. And I have like hundreds, if not thousands, that are reaching out like, Carla, I want to be on your podcast. I'm like, are you with AZ & Associates? So this might even turn into something even greater, not just women in real estate, women in general that just want to be this powerhouse and share so much of themselves. I just love that. So, hey, this might turn into something even greater. This was just something that I thought about one morning, and I came in and I'm like, oh my gosh, my whole month is booked with amazing women that I get to interview all week. So, and I don't like to call them, I keep saying interview. I like to have conversation pieces. I'm interviewing, yes, but it's getting a little bit to know more, getting to know more about you, as well as your clients get to know a little bit more about you and where they can reach you. So it's awesome. So again, Facebook, Brianna Young. If you research her by the Young, Brianna's picture, lovely picture will pop up with you and your daughter, right? Yeah, she's just beautiful. You're going to see her. If only you can just zoom in on these women that come in so you can see these amazing, beautiful faces.
You're so silly. Now I'm starting to sweat.
I'm like,
my eyes twitching.
Don't wipe that sweat. So anyway, thank you for joining me today with Brianna Young. Thank you, Brianna Young, for joining me. It was an awesome conversation. Again, thank you very, very much. I appreciate you so much. If you are interested in joining A.Z. and Associates Real Estate Group, go to badassagents.com and apply. Give it a shot. Come check us out. I'll hear from you soon, and I'll see you tomorrow. Holding another one tomorrow, Women in Real Estate. Bye.